Maybe you didn't plan to be here tonight. Maybe you were just scrolling, searching for something, though you're not even sure what that something is. And maybe right now, there's a weight on your chest that you can't explain to anyone, a tiredness that goes beyond the body, a silence inside you that feels heavier than noise ever did. I want you to stop for a moment. Just stop. You don't have to keep scrolling. You don't have to keep searching. You don't have to perform for anyone right now. Not here. This is a different kind of place. And I believe with everything in me that you didn't find this video by accident. I don't believe in accidents like that. Something or someone led you here tonight. And whatever is happening in your life right now, whatever you're carrying, whatever you're hiding, you are welcome here, exactly as you are. There's a kind of darkness that has nothing to do with the night outside your window. It's the darkness that lives inside a person when they've been strong for too long, when they've smiled through pain that nobody saw, when they've said, "I'm fine," so many times that they almost started to believe it themselves, when they kept going and going and going, even when every single part of them wanted to stop. Maybe that's you right now. Maybe you're exhausted in a way that sleep doesn't fix. You close your eyes, and the thoughts are still there. You wake up, and the heaviness is still there. You go through the day and carry it all quietly, alone, tired of trying, tired of waiting, tired of hoping for something that never seems to come, tired of pretending that everything is okay when it's not. I see you, and more importantly, God sees you, not the version of you that has everything together, not the version of you that shows up strong, the real version, the one that cries in the shower, the one that lies awake at 3 a.m, the one that smiles on the outside while something quietly breaks on the inside. That version. He sees that version of you, and he has not looked away, not once. Your darkness doesn't scare God. I need you to hear that again. Your darkness does not scare God. He is not standing at a distance waiting for you to clean yourself up. He is not disappointed and turning away. He is not keeping score of every time you fell apart. He is here, right now, in this moment, in this room, in the silence between your heartbeats, closer than the air you're breathing, more present than anything you can see or touch. He came for the broken ones. He came for the tired ones. He came for the ones who couldn't find their way back on their own. He came for you. There's a story in the Bible that I keep coming back to every time life gets heavy. I go back to the story, a man named Elijah. Now Elijah wasn't just any man. He was a prophet of God, powerful, faithful, courageous. He had seen God move in ways most people only dream about. He had stood alone against hundreds of false prophets. He had prayed for rain after years of drought, and the rain came. By every measure, Elijah was a man of great faith. And yet, one day he ran, not from an enemy army, not from physical danger. He ran because he was done, completely, utterly done. He went into the wilderness alone. He sat down under a tree, and he prayed the most honest prayer I have ever read in Scripture. He said, "It is enough. Lord, it is enough. I have had enough. Take my life. I am no better than my fathers." Those words stop me every time, because they don't sound like a prophet. They sound like a person. They sound like someone who gave everything they had for as long as they could and finally reached the end of themselves. They sound like something you might whisper at 2 a.m, staring at the ceiling, wondering how much longer you can keep going. It is enough. I have had enough. Have you ever felt that? Have you ever reached that place where you just couldn't take one more step? Where the faith felt thin and the hope felt distant? And you just needed someone to tell you it was okay to stop for a moment? Elijah felt that. This giant of faith, this man who walked with God, felt exactly what you might be feeling tonight. And do you know what God did? He didn't lecture Elijah. He didn't say, "You should have more faith." He didn't remind him of all the times God had come through before. He didn't give him a list of things to fix. He let him sleep. And then he sent an angel. Not with a sermon, not with a lesson, not with disappointment, with bread and water. The angel touched him gently and said, "Get up and eat. Get up and eat." That's it. No conditions, no expectations, no performance required. Just get up and eat. The journey is too great for you. The journey is too great for you. Not, you are too weak. Not, you should have been stronger. Not, why did you give up so easily? Just, I see how far you've come. I see what this cost you. I see that you are tired. And I am here now. Get up and eat. That is the God I want you to know tonight. Not the God of perfect performance. Not the God of impossible standards. Not the God who only shows up when you have it all together. The God who sits beside the exhausted. The God who brings bread to the ones who can't go any further. The God who meets you exactly where you are. The God who says, "Get up and eat." Because the journey is too great for you to carry alone. He is that God. And he is here tonight after Elijah rested, after he ate, after he was strengthened. God spoke to him. And I want you to notice something very important about how God chose to speak. Because there was wind, powerful wind, the kind that tears mountains apart and shatters rocks. But God was not in the wind. And then there was an earthquake. The ground shook, everything trembled, but God was not in the earthquake. And then there was fire, consuming, overwhelming, undeniable fire. But God was not in the fire. And after the fire, after all that power, after all that noise, there was a still small voice, a whisper. God chose to speak in a whisper, not because he couldn't be louder, but because he wanted Elijah to lean in, to get close, to be still enough to hear. And I believe that is exactly what he is doing with you right now. God is not shouting at you from a distance. He is whispering in the quiet moment before you fall asleep, in the unexpected peace that comes over you sometimes, for no reason you can explain, in the small thing that goes right when everything else seems to be falling apart, in the stranger who said exactly the right words at exactly the right time, in this moment, right now. As you listen to these words, that's him, whispering, closer than you think, more present than you feel, more aware of your name than anyone else in this world. I don't know what your darkness looks like tonight. Maybe it's a relationship that fell apart and left you wondering if you'll ever feel whole again. Maybe it's a dream you held for so long that slowly slipped away, and you're grieving something the world doesn't even know you lost. Maybe it's a version of yourself that you miss, someone you used to be before life got this heavy. Maybe it's grief, real grief, the kind that sits in your chest and doesn't ask permission. Maybe it's anxiety that follows you everywhere, into every room, into every conversation, into the silence of 3 a.m. when everything feels impossible. Maybe it's loneliness. the kind that can exist even in a room full of people. Maybe it's just emptiness, and you don't even know why. And that almost makes it harder. Whatever it is, God sees it. He sees every layer of it. He sees the parts you've never said out loud. He sees the prayers you gave up on. He sees the nights you stopped believing anything would change. And he sees it not to judge it, but to heal it. There's a verse I want to leave deep in your heart tonight. Psalm 139, verse 12. Even the darkness is not dark to you. The night is as bright as the day. Darkness and light are alike to you. Read that slowly in your heart, even your darkest place, even the part of you that feels most hidden, even the wound you've never shown anyone, is not dark to God. He can see you perfectly. He can reach you completely. He has never lost sight of you, not for a single moment, not once. So tonight, I want to ask you to do something simple, not a big religious act, not something that requires you to have it all together. Just this. Breathe. Take one slow breath, and in that breath, just know you are not alone. You have never been alone, not in the darkest night, not in the longest silence, not in the moments when you felt most invisible. God was there. God is here. And he is not finished with you, not even close. If you can't pray tonight, that's okay. If you don't have the words, that's okay. If all you can do is sit here and breathe, that is enough. He hears the prayers you can't say out loud. He knows the words your heart is trying to form. He meets you in the silence just as much as in the song. He sees the version of you that the world forgot. He sees you're tired. He sees your questions. He sees the hope you've been afraid to hope again. He sees the dreams you buried because you thought they were gone. And he hasn't moved, not an inch. He is here, in this room, in this silence, in the dark, whispering your name, with more tenderness than you have ever known, with more patience than you deserve or don't deserve, simply because he loves you, and you are not alone tonight. You never were, and you never will be. Before you go, I want you to know something. This channel exists for one reason only, not for views, not for numbers, not for anything the world measures. It exists for you, for the ones who are tired, for the ones who are searching, for the ones who just needed someone to sit with them in the quiet. God's whisper is that place. Every single day, a new message will be waiting for you here, a prayer for the hard moments, a story for the lost ones, a word of hope for the ones who almost gave up. You don't have to face tomorrow alone. Come back tomorrow. There will be something here just for you, because you matter, and God has not finished speaking to your heart. See you tomorrow.